Hey guys, welcome back. I've been doing this channel for a while, and it seems like I've managed to somehow accumulate about 70,000 subscribers, and I think a bit over 100 videos. So I thought I'd take the time to kind of maybe have a trip down memory lane for me and go over the videos with you. And for you guys, it's going to be maybe useful because I'm going to sort of tell you what sort of videos there are on the channel. I guess if you're a die-hard subscriber, you've watched them all, so you kind of know what is out there. But if you're not, if you stick around, maybe you'll find something that's interesting and watch it. So this is not a piano lesson, this is a meta piano lesson, right? This is a lesson about piano lessons. What you see here in the background is basically my channel's main page. And you see here is the subscribers, and let's go to videos, and this will basically give us a list sorted by date of all of the videos, and I'm gonna kind of walk backwards. I think that would be more interesting. So here let's just go, I'm gonna kind of randomly jump between the videos and point out the ones that I personally find kind of are my personal favorites. All right, I really like this video, this B flat 9, a cool little trick. The secret chord you never thought of using. I use this trick quite a bit. It's really quick and simple. You know, if you watch this video, you see it's only 3 minutes 42. And it just shows you a really nice way of resolving to the root. So I really like that one. Let's see what else I have here. Here's my blind cat Miru. I like this piano hand independence exercise. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure this really makes you some sort of super independent player, but I like making these sort of exercises and sort of practicing them on my own, and I actually do think they do help, or helped me in the past, and actually still do help me improve my hand independence. I'm pretty fond of this video, piano arpeggios. Basically what I'm doing here is, this is a recreation of an older video, which by now is kind of, you know, I recorded it many years ago, and I think it was 240p and really low resolution. So I redid it here and expanded it, and this video kind of goes over many different patterns you can use for left hand arpeggiation. So you should definitely check this out. Take a look at this. This is layered fifth sounds. I like this because basically a layered fifth sound gives you this really interesting synth sound that you can use to create really complex sounding chords. You know, even though you're playing something simple, by layering a fifth above it, you get this really modern sound. You know, it's really reminiscent of bands like Nowhere, if you're familiar with them. This is another personal favorite of mine, playing out of key. I think it really shows a really nice trick of how you can modulate from one key to another really quickly and then back again in a song to sort of add harmonic interest. That's my cat in the background, by the way. Here's my, I think, one and only interview I've done with Chris Merritt, and Chris is a really talented songwriter and composer, and I'm pretty happy I got him on the channel. I've been wanting to make more of these interviews, but haven't really gotten around to it. Also, haven't really worked up the courage to ask some of my personal favorites to come and interview. As for who are my personal favorites, I guess you're gonna have to wait and see. Let's keep that as a surprise. Let's see what else is here. This is a really nice exercise for just remembering chords using you see this here, this is the circle of fifths, or the circle of fourths, depending which direction you're going. So you can use this circle not just to create harmonic progressions or whatever, but just as a tool for building exercises for just remembering chords. It's a really effective way of practicing your chords, voicings, piano, and so forth. This is kind of an odd lesson about arranging. I don't usually do arranging lessons. I'm never sure what exactly to say or how to teach arranging a song. But if this is your thing, you should check this out. I think it has some nice ideas. I also like this playing on the lower register. Basically the kind of effect, really dramatic effect you can get by focusing on the lower register in the piano. Now, if you've played, I played Fallout 4 a while ago, and it has this exactly same trick in the opening of the video game. This kind of really dark, sonorous chord on the lower register of the piano with overlaid strings. So this kind of shows you how to get this sort of sound. Let's load some more and see what else we get here. There are some interesting ideas for voicing some electric piano chords. This video here, more awesome chord families, and its counterpart here, understanding chord using chord families, are actually kind of two very, I'd say, important videos for how I view harmony. This is not really, I'm not sure if this is a standard concept or not, but this is just a way I find really useful for thinking about chords, by grouping them into groups, and such that in each group you can jump between chords, and pretty much any combination would sound good. Let's see what else I have here. That's, by the way, my cat ruining my other chair in the background. I have quite a few videos with exercises. If you go through the channel, like you see here, there's piano left hand. Well, actually not this one, but let me see. There's a piano arpeggio exercise here. Just, if you go back up again, there are quite a few exercises that you can find scattered around just to improve your technique. Let's see here, a fun little left-hand exercise, and of course you have this independence exercise, and you just go over the channel and you'll find quite a few of those. Now, I don't do many songwriting videos, but I think when I actually do a songwriting video, I try to make it like non-conventional or interesting, and I think this kind of way of thinking, writing songs backwards, is interesting. Nobody taught me how to write a song, and in fact, I'm not even claiming to be a good songwriter. I don't really publish or bother recording my stuff, and I don't really upload them to the channel that much. But I think that I feel like I've worked really hard for the insights I have achieved, and I enjoy sharing them. So, check this one out if you're into writing your own songs or progressions. Let's see what else I have. I have some videos with a lot of a lot of views, like this one. 4 hot blues licks for piano and organ. This has 300,000 views, which is quite a lot for my channel. And actually, this is not one of my own personal favorites. It's very useful if you're into blues licks and whatnot, and of course, it's always useful to know how to play these things. But just looking or watching this video, I don't feel it has any deep intellectual content. Just a lick, and this is how you play it, and this is how you memorize it, and this is how you string the different licks together. So, some of my favorites are videos with, relatively speaking, few views. Let's see what else. Here, this is a great, I won't tap myself on the back, but I think this is a really interesting video about the 251 progression, and this has or focuses on the minor 251, as the title suggests. This isn't really addressed in a lot of videos. You know, there are quite a few videos that go over the 251 progression, but this shows how to use minor chords, and it has, I think, a really nice example that really demonstrates this. This advanced to intermediate piano harmony video actually has one of the few recorded tunes I've uploaded to the channel. You have to it kind of comes in the second minute, and I then break it down. So it's, you know, one of the few, you know, original compositions I have. So if you're curious to know what sort of music I like to write, check this one out. Beginner tips on how to practice the piano. I talk a lot in this video. There's almost no playing, but this is sort of the video you know, there's a saying that experience is the comb life gives you when you're bald. And it's kind of the same when it comes to practicing piano. You kind of realize what the important things to focus on are after you've reached a certain stage and put in a large number of hours. And this is kind of my, you know, the free comb I'm giving you on how to practice piano. You know, if you're starting out and you're not sure exactly what to choose, or, you know, how to spend your time, especially if you're limited in time. You know, if you have a busy life and you can only spend 30 minutes or 60 minutes a day practicing the piano, what should you do? Let's see what else I have. You know, another songwriting video, and again, this is something, a personal insight of mine that is interesting. Chord trains are really, really cool. You should check this out if you don't know what a chord train is. It's basically just going up the piano or going up a scale with increasing chords. Some interesting voicings, you know, using cluster chords. So check this out if you're into chord voicing. I always like substitutions, and there are a few videos on substitutions in the channel. This is one of them, major to minor chord substitutions. And there's actually a better one here, the power of chord substitutions, which kind of is a tour de force of some common ways of doing chord substitutions. Basically, it means taking a sequence of chords and making it more interesting by changing or adding chords to the sequence. This is a really simple trick, the 715 voicing. You know, if you just want a simple trick, you see it's 2:40, 2 minutes 40 seconds. And, you know, just watch it if you're looking for an interesting, cool voicing. Let's see what else we have here. Some interesting quartal chord voicings, another exercise technique for the left hand. And here are two videos, more piano runs and learn to play piano runs, which kind of show you how to play these flashy up and down running arpeggios on the piano. So it really breaks it down for you step by step. And if you like speed, then check these two out. Now you see there are 8 videos here called Piano Quickie. And what they basically do is they really start from the basic, naming the notes on the piano, and then they go on to explain ever-increasing concepts that are kind of the bread and butter of playing piano. So if you're not sure about some theory concepts, like how to construct different scales, different triads, seventh chords, inversions, or, you know, even more complex chords, just have a watch, you know, just go through these Piano Quickie videos. Let's see what else I have here. I have a few videos on music technology, so the more technical aspects of music. I'm actually curious to hear if you guys want more of these videos. I do them only when I'm particularly inspired. This is, I think, the first video I really was kind of happy with when I think, so it talks about the 251 voicing, but it does so through a really cool trick. So when you watch it, it's not just a dry theory video, it really gives you an exercise to work on and sort of increases the complexity of the exercise throughout the video. Modulating between keys. I really love modulating between keys. I like changing keys. I like modulating in and out of a key, and it's just a great technique to have. And this talks about how to modulate between keys, specifically using the 251 progression. You don't have to know what the 251 progression is. If you start watching the videos, it's sort of going to become apparent as you do. Let's see what else is here. Here are a couple of videos, actually a 4-video series I made on how to read sheet music. Sheet music is kind of going out of style, unfortunately. These days you can learn how to arrange a track in Cubase or Logic or whatever without knowing how to notate. Notation is important when communicating with other musicians, though. So I think it's, of course, if you want to play classical music, you simply must know how to learn how to read sheet music. So this is a good place to start for that. I really like this video. See, it only has 9,000 views from 5 years ago, but it's a fun trick. Just shows you how to use a delay to double the speed of your playing. Just a dirty trick, but still fun. Here's a song written and produced by Tal Moore, The Quiet Revolution, called Parallel Me. I just play the piano on this song. So again, if you want to hear some of my own playing, you can check it out here. Another original composition, Logitech Blues. And here we're kind of getting into the old videos. These are the videos that are in like 240 or whatever, 320p or blocky, grainy, and sometimes they could be interesting, but you can definitely see they're not as polished as the newer ones. They're still interesting. I think this one is interesting, achieving a modern sound with a 4th and 5th. It's about chord voicing, using pedal notes, very important trick you should probably familiarize yourself with if you don't know. Rhythmic doubling, again, an interesting songwriting tip, some piano technique exercises. Polychords, a very important concept that you should get to know. This is an old video, but still I think it's well made, just as a lesson. So more music technology, I talk about sampling rate and bit depth. This is a 4-part series I plan on redoing. So it's about the 251 progression, and it's 4 videos. And if by the time you're watching this video I still haven't reproduced it, you can go and watch the original ones. They're okay, but again, watching them, I do see that they lack polish. So today I do some of the things differently. So I'm probably gonna redo them at some point. And these are old videos. They're actually my first two successful videos. How to play here, best free piano lessons, learn to play left-hand piano arpeggios. They were superseded by one of the earlier videos I shown you. If I go all the way up, this one. So you don't have to watch them if you're into arpeggios. You can just watch this one. But it's kind of fun, just at least for me, just seeing how much I've advanced comparing this to the newer version. And here are videos I would really like to forget about. They're kind of crappy, to be honest. They're the first videos I've uploaded to the channel. See, there's Asaf's piano lesson. Asaf is me, by the way. 1 through 6. And then there is Asaf's piano lesson number 2, 1 through 6. And also kind of 2 bonus lessons. Now, honestly, they're really poorly made and planned, so you can watch them only for laughs. And of course, if you want to see me from how I looked 8 years ago, this was a period where I actually filmed myself and not just my hands. And this is it. This is the beginning of the channel. So I think there are over 100 videos here, I'm pretty sure. And I think there's a pretty nice selection for whatever you're interested in. The only thing I don't do on the channel is I don't teach existing songs. So if you want to learn how to play, I don't know, some song from the Titanic or something, I'm probably not the kind of channel you're looking at. There are 2 reasons for that. First, I find it extremely boring teaching people how to just play a song and parrot what I'm playing. And the second reason is copyright laws. YouTube is extremely, I'd say, not sure what the word is, maybe violent when it comes to copyright law infringement. And I've seen big channels, channels 10 times my size being taken down because of copyright law infringement. And this is becoming more and more of an issue on YouTube. And I can definitely understand it. I understand people wanting to protect their intellectual property. And I would probably want to protect my own intellectual property if I had any, at least musical intellectual property. But that also, whenever I cover a song, first of all, I'm never sure if I'm going to get some sort of copyright strike from the owner of the rights, and I also can't monetize it. Yes, the videos are monetized, which means that when you see an ad, when you watch one of the videos and you see an ad and you click on the ad, or maybe sometimes you just see the ad all the way through, I get money. It's really crappy money, to be honest. If I had put the same amount of work into actually just taking a student and teaching him piano, I would make a lot more, but it's still some amount. And when I teach other people's songs, I can't even make that smaller amount. So I basically chose not to deal with these things, and that's it. So if you want to learn how to play other people's songs, there are plenty of channels on YouTube that do precisely that, and they probably do it a lot better than I would do it myself. That's it. That's been a quick overview or tour of my channel as of mid-December 2016. I don't know when you're watching this video. I hope that if you're watching it a year or two in the future, my channel has grown even more and has more interesting videos for you to choose from. That's it. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tour, or maybe not so quick tour, through my channel, and I'll see you next time.